Hello guys, welcome back to my channel English Academy. Guys, please like, share, follow, comment and subscribe the channel. Guys, if you have subscribed the channel, we move on the topic the poem The Solitary Reaper. In the last video, I have told about the poet William Wordsworth and the main theme of the poem The Solitary Reaper. Guys, The Solitary Reaper is one of the famous poems of William Wordsworth, which was written in 32 lines, divided into 4 stanzas of 8 lines each. Guys, in the last video, we have also explained the first stanza of the poem. Guys, in this video, once again, I am going to explain the first and second stanza and the literary devices which are used by the poet to make the language attractive. Let's start now. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the well profound is overflowing with the sound. Guys, before explaining the stanza, we will see the meaning of the word. Behold, guys, behold means looked at or seen. Her here the word refers for the Highland girls. Single means alone. Behold her single in the field. In the opening line of the poem, the poet says to the reader, look at her look at this solitary reaper who is single in the field. Next line, yon solitary highland lass. Yon means there, solitary means lonely. What is highland? Highland is a mountainous area of the Scotland. Lass means girl. He says that look at the solitary highland girl who is there alone in the field, reaping and singing by herself. Guys, reaping means cutting the ripe crop, singing a song. The poet says that she is cutting the ripe crop and singing by herself. Next line, stop here or gently pass. Gently means quietly, pass means go. The poet instructs the readers not to disturb her, listen her carefully or gently go or pass. Next line, alone she cuts and binds the grain. Guys, binds means collects, the grain means corn or rice. He says that she is cut. In this line, the poet says that she is cutting the crop and collecting the grain lonely, and sings a melancholy strain. Guys, melancholy means sad. Strain means song. The poet says that she is singing a melancholy song by herself. Oh, listen for the well profound. Here the poet addresses the reader and says that you can listen to the voice of the solitary reaper in the deep valley. Guys, well means valley, profound means deep. Next line is overflowing with the sound. Overflowing means entirely with the sound full of. The poet says that entirely valley is full of her song. Guys, now we explain the stanza. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop her or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the well profound is overflowing with the sound. In this stanza, guys, in this stanza, the poet is addressing to the reader and says that to look at solitary reaper who is alone in the field. John solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. He, the poet says that The girl who is reaping and singing herself is belongs mountainous area of Scotland. She is cutting the ripe crop and she is singing a song by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the well profound is overflowing with the sound. And the poet instructs the reader to stop and listen to her, or to quietly pass from there, but not to disturb her. He says that she is alone and she is also collecting the corn or rice, and along with she is singing a sad song. The poet says to readers, you can hear or listen her song or her voice because entirely valley is full of the sound of her song. Guys, after explaining the first stanza, we will discuss about the literary devices which are used in this stanza. These devices are as rhyme scheme, consonance, assonance, and apostrophe. Guys, what is rhyme scheme? Rhyme scheme is a musical effect at the end of the lines. The whole stanza's rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CC, DD, but in the first and third lines, rhyme is missing. In first line and the end is filled, and third line is herself. So guys, we can feel that here is a rhyme scheme is missing. In the second and fourth line, rhyme scheme is last and pass. In fifth and sixth line is grain and strain, and seventh and eighth line is profound and sound. Now we will discuss about the literary term apostrophe. Guys, do you know mean of apostrophe? Guys, apostrophe, when the poet involves the reader with him in the poem, is called apostrophe. In the first stanza of the poem, we can feel that the reader is included by the poet. When the poet says, behold, when the poet says in the beginning of the poem, behold her single in the field, here the poet addresses the reader. Next, literary terms is consonance. Consonance also used in this stanza. Guys, what do you mean the word consonance? Consonance is a repetitive use of consonant sounds, but it is differ from alliterations. Guys, there is a repetition of consonant sound in a consonants and alliterations. How can you understand that it is consonance and it is alliteration? Guys, you know that an alliteration we use the repetition of use the word, but how can we identify that where is alliteration or consonance? Let's see now main difference between alliteration and consonance. In alliteration, consonant sound repeat in the beginning of the word, but in consonance throughout a group of lines, that consonant sound is very prominent. In this stanza, in the first stanza of the poem, there is a L consonant sound which is very prominent. For example, behold, single, field, solitary, highland, lass, herself, gently, alone, melancholy, well, overflowing, etc. Guys, in these words, there is a L sound is very prominent. So we can say that here the use of consonants sound is very prominent. In this stanza, poet also used the literary term assonance. Guys, what do you mean assonance? Guys, assonance Assonance is the repetitive use of vowel sounds. In this stanza, O is a vowel sound which is repeated in the following words. Behold, guys, behold में भी O repeat हुआ है. Yawn, solitary, stop or profound, overflowing. Following words have the O vowel sound is prominent. Guys, I hope that you understand the literary terms which are used in the first stanza of the poem. Guys, now we will explain the next stanza. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in some shady haunt. Among Arabian saints, a voice so thrilling never was heard. In springtime from the cuckoo-bird, breaking the silence of the seas, among the farthest Hebrides. Guys, first of all, we see the meaning of the stanza. No nightingale did ever chant. Chant means sing. Here the poet says that she is singing more sweetly than the music of the nightingale. The poet says that she sings more sweetly that didn't ever sung by the nightingale in the desert area. More welcome notes to weary events of traveler. Weary, guys, weary means tired. Bands means a group of travelers in subsidy haunt among Arabian deserts. Guys, among Arabian means Arabia, sands means deserts. The desert, here the poet says that in the Arabian deserts there are oases where their tired travelers rest. A voice so thrilling never was heard. Thrilling means exciting. Never was heard. Heard means listen here. He says that the voice of the girl is so exciting, so sweetly, which was never heard before. In spring, next line, in springtime from the cuckoo bird. Here, cuckoo is a sound which was produced by a bird, breaking the silence of the siege among the farthest Hebrides. The voice of her singing, the poet says that the voice of her singing is breaking the silence of the sea among the farthest Hebrides. Guys, farthest means remote. Hebrides means the most remote group of the island that is situated to the northwest of Scotland. Guys, we saw the meaning of the word by word in the lines of the stanza. Now we explain the whole stanza. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in subsidy haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the siege among the farthest Hebrides. In this stanza, the poet compares the voice of the Highland girl is sweeter than that of the nightingale. In the Arabian deserts, there are places having water and trees where tired travelers rest and nightingale sings. The poet says that her voice is more thrilling than that of the cuckoo bird. He becomes quite motionless when he listens to the song of the solitary reaper. A cuckoo's song singing in the silent seas near the Hebrides Island is not so sweet as this girl's music The music of the nightingale and the cuckoo appears inferior to the girls singing. Guys, in this stanza, the poet uses various literary terms are as follows: rhyme scheme, alliteration, consonance, assonance, onomatopoeia, etc. Guys, rhyme scheme is a musical sound at the end of the line. Same rhyme scheme is followed here: A B A B C C D D. Rhyme in the first and third stanza. Alliteration. Guys, next literary terms is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetitive use of consonant sounds in two or more consecutive words in the starting of the words. Here we get to see alliteration in these lines. In third lines, welcome very. In third lines, well, more welcome notes to weary ones. Here, where sound is repeated. Next literary terms which is used in this stanza is consonants. Guys, what do you mean of the consonants? It is the repetitive use of consonant sounds throughout a group of lines that is consonant is prominent. Here consonants and sound which is very prominent. For example, no nightingale, notes, bends, hunt, among, send, never, and Arabian. Onopia. Guys, what is onopia? The use of sound word. The use of sound word. Any such words which indicates a sound that is called onopia. It is used to create dramatic effect. Here the word cuckoo is the sound which produced by a bird. Cuckoo is the name of a bird, but here cuckoo is a sound which was creates by a bird. Guys, I hope that you understand the explanation of the poem and literary terms which are used by the poet. Thanks guys for giving your valuable times to watching the video.